Hi guys, this is CC Truth and welcome to my channel. It has been a very long time since I was last here. I apologize for that. I just got overwhelmed with school, but I will be consistently uploading videos. I will definitely put in the description. I'm going to sit down tonight and make like a schedule and just make when am I going to be posting. I thank you for my faithful 50 subscribers. Honestly, you guys are so faithful even if I'm not posting. And I really appreciate it. So today I'll be talking about the topic acceptance. We all want to be accepted and we all want to have a sense of community because in reality, we were all created for a sense of community. I was talking to one of my close friends today and I was like, you know, something I realized about myself is I want to be accepted. And we want people to accept our dreams. We want people to accept our thoughts. We live in a society where it's kind of like we want to sell things. You know, when we sell things to people, it's kind of like we want people to like be on board with the same thing we're on board with. I was reading Psalms 139 and in Psalms 139 it says, "You have searched me, Lord, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my laying down. You are familiar with all my ways." This is Psalms 139 verses 1 to 3. As I go on, I guess I'll continue reading like the other verses. But what I really want to emphasize on is that God knows our thoughts. And even with knowing our thoughts, what we're going to say before we say it, and knowing our past and coming into our future, God knows everything about us and he still accepts us. So our acceptance has to more so rely on what does God think about me? What does God have to say about me? And that's something that's unchanging and unmoving. People change every day. So if you put your thoughts, if you put your whole well-being in a person, you're going to be going through ups and downs, roller coaster rides throughout your whole entire week or year or whatever, you know, or your life, if that's how you've been living up until thus far. And I tell you this from my personal experience because I am not perfect. I have relied on so many people and what they thought about me. And with this being said, it's something that I'm putting to rest. It's a process because it's not something you do overnight. But definitely I want to encourage you guys, you know, whatever your dreams are, whatever your desires are, whatever God has placed in your heart, continue moving forward with that and knowing that God accepts you, God loves you. Because I just feel like it's just so important for us, you know, just to not sit down and be like, well, let's just say I'm into music. Do you like, some people, you know, we're into music and some people, they'll be like, do you like my music, or do you like my videos, or do you like my pantomimes, or do you like my makeup, or do you like all these things? And people can have their opinions about you, but the opinion does not shape who you are, and it should never shape who you are as a person. You know, this is something very close to me because I would sit around and be like, you know what does Fulana think about this? Or what does Fulano think about this? What do these people think about this? What are they thinking about? You know, and it's kind of like the ultimate decisions are on me. So a great example I can give you is my major. I'm majoring in psychology currently. And, you know, I wonder sometimes, like as an example, that's my major. It's something I like. You know, now imagine me going around saying, hey, well, what do you think about me majoring in psychology? Oh, well, I don't think you should do it. And some people, they'll just tell you things because they're either jealous or sometimes they just don't have anything positive in store or in mind for you. So the person would just say to me, oh, I don't think you should do it. You should probably do science. Now, I hate science with a passion. I'm bad at science and math. Anybody who knows me knows I am really bad at science and math. So, you know, you'll go around and what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up confusing yourself. You know, you can end up confusing yourself and confusing the path that God has already paved for you, that you in your heart, because you have the desire, because you have the passion, like as an example, to pursue psychology, you could just confuse yourself because you're asking everybody else, what do they think? You know, and what do they think you're good at? You know, so, you know, as an example, I go around and I'm like, hey, you know, well, what do you think I should do? Well, another person will say, I think you should become a mechanic. You know, we don't have enough mechanics on the field and hey, they make good money. As an example, you know, all these people who are close to me and important to me, they'll be inputting. But at the end of the day, I'm the one that has to sleep on these things. I'm the one that has to wake up every day and do this job. I have to love my major. I have to love the choices I make. And I have to sleep with the choices I make. So I say this again to encourage you. God accepts you as you are. Whatever passion and desires you guys have, please pursue them. Do not stop pursuing them. If it's music, if it's psychology, if it's science, if it's math, whatever the case may be, don't always base your life around what everybody else is thinking, you know? Pray about it, read your word, and then, you know, see kind of like, okay, if I'm good at this, am I not good at this? Is this really stressful? Am I enjoying this? All these things play a big part to what you're gonna do for your future. I pray, guys, that this video was very informative. I did not want to make it super long. I pray you guys, you know, continue, like, message me. You guys can also, I'm gonna be putting my Instagram on the description box below. So before, I want to give you guys steps to really help each and every one of you guys get to the place where you guys desire to be. So the first step I'm giving you guys is to accept yourself. The reason why it's been such a problem for you to the reason why you've been looking for acceptance is because you're not even accepting yourself. Now, whatever passions and desires you have, accept yourself at this moment for who you are. You know, if you're interested in science and that's your passion and that's your thing, it's something God has placed in you. You don't need to sit down and convince anybody else on what God has placed in you. It's funny because this happens a lot where sometimes we'll feel like God is calling us to something and we'll be like, okay, I feel like God is like, you know, I feel like this is it, this is me, this is who I am. And it's like, for some reason we go around we're excited about it, and it's funny because everybody else is not really accepting it or they don't see the vision. It's kind of like we get like, that's the reason where we start doubting. We start doubting when we start going out and like, hey, guess what? I'm gonna become a scientist, or guess what? I'm gonna do this. And it's kind of like, they're like, oh, you're gonna do that? Oh my goodness. You know, and that's where the doubt starts to come in. So please go to a quiet place. Sit down, you know, open the word, you know, or just go to a quiet place and just, you know, come to a place where you're just like, okay, this is what I like and this is who I am. This is who I feel like God is calling me to be. That's the first thing. The second thing is understanding you're going to definitely get those negatives and you're going to get those positives, but knowing how to work through the negatives. It's something you work through. It's not something, because we live in a society where they say, build a bridge and get over it. There's some things in life you cannot just get over. There's some things you have to work through. Because if you just pretend like it's not there, and pretend like you don't feel anything, and pretend like you don't feel sad about it, you know, like that's just kind of you being fake, let's be honest. Now, we're going to work through the negatives. And what I mean by work through the negatives is understanding that's not who you are. That's what I mean by working through the negatives. Understanding that's not who you are as a person. If someone says you can't do this, you can't do that, and you shouldn't be this, and you shouldn't be that, all these things, all it is those are negatives, you know? Why? Who has the right to tell you you can't be or do what's in your heart? Like, do they even pay your rent? like, let's be honest, you know? Why is someone else trying to stop you from getting to a positive place? Let's just say you say, I want to become, I don't know, a YouTuber. Let's just say you want to become a YouTuber and you start telling people I want to become a YouTuber and I want to pursue my passion maybe in video games or something. Why can't you? You know, why can't you? What's the problem with that? Why in the world is, I don't know, I'm making up a name, guys. Why in the world is Stephanie thinking that you can't do that, you know? Now, I'm not telling you go quit your job and just do that, because that's not a wise thing to do. You don't do that right away with 0 subscribers, you know? Maybe a couple more subscribers in, you know, like a lot of subscribers, and then you could do that. But, you know, because there's a balance to everything, guys. But, you know, why in the world are we allowing someone else's negative opinions? And it's funny, we take someone's negative opinions faster than we'll take a compliment. And why is it that we believe the negative faster than the positive? We need to start in this scripture, I'm going to put it definitely in the description box. It says that we need to have a renewed mind. And the reason why God says we have to have a renewed mind is because the old thinking is crap. Let's be honest. The old mind could be so negative. And when I say old mind, it's like the old mind is when we are allowing negative influences to influence us in terms of, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. But a renewed mind is like, okay, I understand what this person's saying, but guess what? This is my mentality. You have to have that positive mentality, you know? You have to, because if not, life is already hard. Why in the world are you going to be walking around thinking like it's even harder than what it is now, you know? Why do you have to have a group of people that don't even believe in you? There's something I've always noticed. And guys, please take note of this. Have you ever realized there'll be a woman with a man, and this man, let's just say, you know, he has dreams inside of himself, but he doesn't believe in himself. He's like really like down in the dirt on a lot of things in terms of like just his self-esteem, his confidence, all these things. And don't you find it interesting where if a man is close to a woman that is positive, he will excel? And same thing goes for a woman. If a woman is close to a man who believes in her, she will excel. Now, we have seen, and I'm sure you guys have seen this, where a man or a woman will be with someone that is very negative and they will stay stagnant and not move anywhere. Like, I'm sure you guys have seen this. Now, with this being said, it says a lot. Who you surround yourself with, who's stuff that what words you're accepting. Don't just accept everybody and what they say. Guys, don't just do that. Don't someone call you ugly, you're gonna sit there and just be like, oh my goodness, now I'm ugly. No, people call me ugly all the time, and to be honest with you, I'm just like, okay, like, because I'm not gonna let those comments get to my heart. You know, if that's how they feel and that's what they believe, then okay, let it be. I can't change that. Or I can't change. I'm not gonna sit down and have a debate on why I believe I'm pretty. I'm not gonna do that. You know, and I'm not trying to be like cocky or anything like that. You know, I'm not. But I'm just saying as an example. I forgot what number I'm on. I think it's 3. Yes. 3. Write down how you're gonna go about your dreams, your goals, and your passions. Organizing yourself. When God created the world, he did not just speak and it all just showed up crazy. When God created the world, it was a step-by-step process, guys. This was not, let there be light, let there be, like, no, everything does not just show up all in one, because he could have done it that way. But I feel like there was a lesson behind it, and it was do things a day at a time. Breathe. Do things a day at a time and breathe, guys. We live in just such an anxious-filled society. Breathe. Organize yourself. Take everything a step at a time. You know, I feel like this is going to help you guys tremendously. And I know you guys have heard other people say this around you, but sit down. Write out so now that you've accepted yourself, you know, and you're deciding to not listen to the negative comments of everybody else, sit down and make a plan on how you're going to go about it, and make the plan realistic. Because you know yourself. If you know, as an example, at this moment, you can't wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, don't put that on the list for the first thing to do. Make your list realistic. Right now, if you're waking up at 10 a.m., please try to put it for 9 a.m. And then as time goes by, push it to 8 a.m. Push it to whatever goal you have to wake up early in. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're on break right now. I'm on break for I'm on break for college and stuff. And, you know, I can do that, you know. Make a list, because when you can make a list, your dream feels more attainable. It feels more there. And understand that, okay, you're organizing yourself, you know. You're organizing yourself, and at the same time, understand that not all the pressure is on you. You know, you're doing your part, and when you do your part, God will definitely do his part. God is not going to just give you a dream to take it away from you, you know. I was listening on YouTube a couple of days ago, and a celebrity said, I was like, I don't know who, I forgot who it was, but everything was falling apart for them, you know. But they said they kept at it, you know, and it happened for them, you know. But it's interesting, because when I see these people and these things, I see that they're really striving, they're really pushing, and they're really having faith. There was I'm sure you guys could find this. Excuse me, I'm sure you guys can find this on YouTube, and it's Denzel Washington. And he's talking to a college, and he's saying, put God first. When you put God first, everything else falls into place. He was talking about how he was doing really bad in school. Like, everything was looking horrible for him. Like, we're talking, I think he had like a 1 point something GPA, which he prays nobody gets to that point. But he said, if you put God first, everything else will align. You know, and that speech that he said really impacted me. Because it was in a moment where he couldn't see anything. And I don't know where you are right now, and maybe you can't see anything, you know. Maybe you're in a place where you're just like, Ciara, that's my name, guys. My name's Ciara, by the way. Where you say, Ciara, everything's falling apart for me. Ciara, I'm not getting to the place where I would like to be. Ciara, you don't understand. I'm in depression. Ciara, you don't understand. I'm alone. I'm abandoned. Ciara, this is really hard. My husband left me. My wife left me. Whatever the case may be, understand that there's light at the end of this tunnel. If you can feel your own heart beating, it's because there's still purpose for you. You know, it's not over yet. It's really not. It feels over. It feels like it, but it's not. Make a list. Go to a quiet place, you know, and just think about how you're going to execute it. When you write everything down, make it realistic. It may not happen in a month. It may not happen next week, but you're making changes, and don't discredit the changes you're making. Let's just say maybe you want to be more healthier. Let's just say you have been, you know, drinking juice and soda, you know, like for years on end, and you never drink water. You know, let's just say you start having a glass a day along with all the other juices you drink all day. You know, that one thing is a change, and you're making changes little by little. Be realistic with yourself, okay? Give yourself time and be forgiving of yourself. I pray that these steps were very helpful for you. If they weren't, I'm sorry. But I pray that this can give you a little bit of light on how to grow from not being accepted in your current situation or even your past situations.